Okay guys, Jason here with the gaming channel. So today we are going to be playing a little bit of Blood Death Knight. It has about a 75% win rate in the higher meta ranks. So the purpose of this deck is just surviving throughout the game, healing, controlling the board. If you can, try to get some minions out. Just pretty much control them and win the game with either Alexandros Mograine, maybe get their win condition with Patchwerk. Maybe you'll get something off a couple spells you get from um, your Hematurge or your school teacher or your Ghost Rider, which is very, very good for value in this deck. That's just a little bit of a rundown of this deck. Now let's get started. Also, probably going to have a little bit of Steven Crowder, Louder with Crowder playing in the background. I apologize if you don't like that content. Just a little bit of news with some comedy with, you know, a conservative leaning point of view.
Good.
Sorry, we're off topic.
Wisdom.
Let's get back to topic.
appreciate
We
it.
have a lot to cover.
So before we get to that, Abercrombie is back. I never knew that they went away. I thought Fitch was gone. Abercrombie's there. Did you remember that? Do you guys know this? Comment below. Abercrombie and Fitch started out as a home order gun catalog.
Yeah. Long time. We did a story on it.
Yep, and it's a far cry from that because now they're back in the spotlight with their new advertising campaign. And this one is definitely not a father teaching his son how to hunt.
So we got Balin in here.
Wow.
That looks like
I'm
George
gonna
Michael.
keep the blood boiled just in case. Normally I want it, and that's why. This is
Here's
one
the
way
irony.
this
They
deck
just
can lose.
accidentally created the most heterosexual thing ever.
That's right.
They're both like, we're gender, but then they're just two straight people.
Yeah, they could totally reproduce.
Yes.
You guys say that. That just makes me
a
want to
little bit.
release doves.
Yes.
And celebrate my virginity.
Yeah.
It makes me want to kill the doves.
Yeah.
They used to
it
compete with
does-
Orvis for the lesbian market. They were all plaid.
Yeah.
Is that
For years. Oh yeah.
That was plaid. It was guns. It was.
got our-
But that looks.
Patch sleeves on the blazer.
That looks like George Michael is banging Jimmy Snuka. Jimmy Barefoot Snuka. Or Samoa Joe. One of those Samoans. I don't know.
Snuka, you don't really
Getting horny.
The point is, it is gross, but hey, whatever sells more shitty sweaters.
It won't. That's the problem.
I know it won't.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make me want to run out and buy a halter
Survive
top.
the early
Remember when
game,
they-
will be
Sleeveless
good.
halter.
Remember when they used to want to like market beautiful people?
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
That was a thing. Remember, like
Yes.
models were supposed
And
to.
they were beautiful.
They were good. The biggest compliment I ever received.
Right.
I was in Simi Valley or Van Nuys at one of those outdoor malls. And this is, I think I might have been 19 and I was on a date. This person came up and said, hey, excuse me, I would like to know, would you like to work over there for us at Abercrombie? I said, oh, no,
We're
but
gonna
thank
take
you.
that because of the blood boil next turn.
Nope.
I got offered to be a barker once.
Did you?
Yeah, at a circus.
Guess your weight
I don't
kind of
have
thing?
your. I
That's
don't
not
have your
the same thing,
proportions.
Brian.
Yeah.
That's not at all.
I was
Okay.
actually a barker as well. Hey, let's move on to code switching here. It's a live show Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. If you're on YouTube right now, also please comment,
Plays a
like,
funk
because
band.
Get
as
out
you-
of there.
We'll be all right.
Well, yeah, but comment, like, so people know that they can head on over to Rumble.
Yeah.
Because YouTube, as you can see through the algorithms, you can search this show, you can search the title, and you won't find it. So, let's go to Martin Luther Cringe.
Just a good.
The Tennessee representative, Justin Pearson.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to read that because I don't care about him. He was reinstated to the state house after being expelled for being a dick. Now, to celebrate his... These people are just... I'm sorry.
Right.
Ad hominem, sure. Scum, yes. Also, losers, yes. Dweebs, yes. So let's celebrate his return now and educate you on not just Mr. Pearson,
It's actually
but
really
all of the
good.
Democrat politicians who engage in code switching with a then and
No,
now.
because
It's so nice being demonetized because
It is.
you can just have the what's I just was to say System of a Down. You can just
And say that.
yes. All right. So here, if you may not know this. Here is Pearson. So I'm gonna spoiler alert, okay? Because you can't get away with it. We can't get away with it. Hank Azaria can't get away with it doing the voice of Apu in a cartoon. But this man can get away with entirely faking a black accent. He's
Well,
like the
let's see if
representative
we can
equivalent
hit.
of Drake, a buttersoft bitch from a white Jewish area of Toronto who sounds like he's from Memphis. Also, by the way,
why can't I
here's
think
how
of
I
the
know you're a
card? The
bitch, Drake.
7-cost
Your
card.
first lyrics are like a sprained ankle ain't nothing to play with. You couldn't think of anything more severe? Used to be about
Blood hurt.
shots. Yeah. Like a sprained ankle, boy, ain't nothing to play with. Yeah, you play.
No, I think
You
we'll
play.
get Alexandros
I gotta
started.
elevate and ice that bitch.
Anti-inflammatories.
To be productive in the morning, gotta be well rested. Yeah, mother, you heard what I just said? Shout out to John Lajoie. I went to high school with his brother. All right, so here is Pearson, Representative Pearson, running for class president in college in 2016. This is what he sounded like. Then.
Hey everybody, I'm Justin J. Pearson, and I'm running for president of BSG. There are a few reasons
loved
that
him
we're
in,
running this
Dead Poets
campaign this
Society.
year. One has to do with representation. How can we represent all voices in a conversation?
Not gonna fall for no
I wanna
banana in the
do this
tailpipe.
By partnering with organizations from the Boone Democrats to the Boone Republicans, I want to bring together different voices, dissenting voices, voices.
You mean
that
the ones in your head?
Or more conservative.
My grandmother would be like, he's such a nice colored
radical
man.
where conversation
She used the word
and
color. I'm like,
dialogue
Grandma, you can't say
happens
that.
and growth happens.
No, yeah, you can. You can say people of color. And that brings us to now. And this is like if you know, on children's placemats, you know, it's like, hey, spot the 6 differences. Also, it's also like navigate your way through the maze. Also, you might as well just tear up the placemat and throw a hot coffee in your lap and squirt your dick, because this is about what this segment is going to feel like. See if you can spot the difference. Here is Pearson now celebrating his triumphant return to the State House yesterday.
To the well. I believe in a division. People who've been ostracized coming to the well.
That is an uncoordinated man.
What a phony.
Well, he's been taken over by the spirit. You see, he
Of
looks like,
Sam Kinison?
yeah, but watch what he's doing here. If you don't say Jesus' name when you're talking this way, you're at risk of conjuring spirits.
Yes.
Right? So Beelzebub can come up through the ground.
Hopefully he conjures the spirit of a real black guy.
Oh, well.
What do you mean, real black guy? What do you mean by real black guy? Shut up. He's doing the Sam Kinison thing, right? And I'm in the State House, and I want to be, I'm in hell! I talk like this even though I used to be a white guy!
Wasn't he a preacher?
He was. And he told, it was performance art.
Yeah.
It's like professional wrestling. So here's the thing.
Oh,
Justin
the license plate on his rolled Corvette said X-Rev.
that's right. Yeah, Sam
Right.
Kinison.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying, I bet you Pearson has a vanity license plate.
Yeah.
It says white. You can't even read it. It's white on white. They're like, this is a violation of the traffic codes. I'm sorry, officer. Did you pull me over because I'm black? Black?
We had no idea, good sir.
This is a violation of... Oh, you're schizophrenic. We're going to take away your license here. Yes. We'll just, you know what? Let's just list cataracts. Okay. Justin Pearson is not unique. Here's the thing. Democrats are master panderers. Hey, black Americans, they hate you. Hey, Latino Americans, they hate you. Hey, women, they actually hate, they want to see you physically beaten to a pulp by men who claim to be women, but they claim to be more relatable, right? This is what, and they engage in what is called code switching. And the left is a group that harped on code switching all the time, right? That this is about like switching and your voice, and you guys can check all the references at
That's
loudwithcoded.com.
how you,
They did the same thing with fake news.
Pretty much play
A
the
lot
deck.
of you, I know some of you are new viewers, you may not remember
Very,
the left
very,
created the
very
term
bad
fake
start,
news to
too.
try and get rid of alternative media,
Right, yeah.
like ourselves. And then Donald Trump
pretty
switched it
lucky
on them
that
and said, "You're fake news." They're like, "What? No, no!" And then all of a sudden, they got mad and they didn't want the term fake news.
That's our
to be applied.
thing.
That's our thing.
Turn it on us.
So it's called code switching. It's about pandering and changing your identity. And if you don't fully grasp it yet, here's an explanation from the GOAT.
And I'll tell you something else you probably didn't know. And that is this. This is not my real speaking voice.
Okay.
Actually, Chuck, this my real speaking voice. I talk like straight up gangster, bitch. My name ain't Big Al. It's Alton Sim.
I love Dave Chappelle.
I think it's great. And you know what's funny about this is when I do
Everything?
the show, I've always got to keep everything is always funny, but I keep this accent to myself because when I'm around you common people, I'm afraid I have to speak.
See,
like
that's
that.
code switching.
That's exactly.
That's
well,
code
yes, I
switching.
know, but You wouldn't understand me if I spoke the Queen's English. would you?
Brian, no. Brian, no, it's the King's English.
Oh, yes,
there's
of course.
There's a man with a penis.
That's right.
I forgot.
There's no more Queen.
There's no more Queen. She's
Now
perished.
we all have to forget that I waved like a twat.
You know what I want to do just once as an Englishman? I just want to go like this. Release the hounds.
Right. And then you'd have to sleep with your sister.
Yes.
You have a sister?
Underbite.
Yes.
Schmuzzle
Oh,
bite.
yes. There's nothing wrong with sleeping with your sister. That's
Yeah.
just an old wives' tale. I have my father's eyes and my mother's also eyes. My blood's blue, you know. That's how they know you're royalty.
Why such a high voice?
Well,
You're
because
my
I'm
liege.
the Queen.
Of course.
I-
Oh, you're the Queen.
I assume there's been some carbon degassing on the vocal cords. Oh, no, we have an entire nation offended that I don't want the Queen.
You've got a beard, my liege.
Yes, yes.
You identify as the Queen.
Well, that's true. This is not accurate. I would have had mine lasered off as the result of my horrible incestuous relations.
He's so queeny.
And Canada still puts it on their money. Yeah, let's be more like those people. All right, so code switching, as you just saw, thank you for exemplifying it, Brian.
Sure.
This
Just
is the
had to do an
definition.
accent.
The ways in which a member of an underrepresented group consciously or unconsciously adjusts their language, syntax, grammatical structure, behavior, and appearance to fit into the dominant culture. So they often say it's what black people do to become white because it's all seen through identity politics as opposed to right and wrong. Look, I think doing voices for fun is fine. We've been doing it since the beginning of time. I think that faking like you are someone else is what's wrong. But the left switches it entirely. Comedy, it's inappropriate. We have to fire Hank Azaria, who does a poo. We can't have a white guy do a black guy voice in a cartoon, but we can have people act as though they are an entirely different race so long as it is conducive to gaining votes. Let me bring you through a few examples, not just Pearson Kitty's the latest example. Hillary Clinton. Now, you all know Hillary Clinton. You know her.
Bitch.
Yes.
Beelzebub.
And you know what? Comment below if you're watching live, okay? And if you're not watching live, pause it so there's no spoiler. Comment who you think are going to be showcased as examples here. Here's Hillary Clinton speaking, as her normal demonic self.
Lessons that I've learned about getting back
Okay, that's
up
enough. That's enough.
after
I don't want to watch
setback.
anymore. Okay.
Short dose.
Yeah, short doses. Yeah, but I don't really think I don't think the poison is in the dose. I think any dose.
It's all poison.
It's like GHB. It's you're immediately vomiting on the floor.
You're
Oh, come
already
on.
testing
Yeah,
your gag reflex.
yeah, see. Well, yeah. Clearly use GHB.
It goes well with poppers.
I love it.
Goes well with driving if you ask John Stamos.
Yes.
And Nick Nolte.
Did he?
Yeah, they got caught for GHB. All right.
Really?
Yes,
I
yes.
Know, I know John. I didn't know he did drugs.
Who cares?
Sorry.
The name is there that you drop it.
All right.
Hey, as long as you get free oikos for life.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can't get a table at your restaurant? I know John Stamos. Think again.
It's like, yeah, he tipped us in the box set DVD of Full House. Don't wait up. Here is Hillary Rodham Clinton pretending to be Southern.
They've just been minding their own business and they got hit by media. I'm not sitting here as some little woman standing by my man like Tammy Wynette.
Stand by
Every
my
time she
man.
called distraught saying her life was going to be ruined. Whether they're living in rural Iowa or inner city New York or anywhere else.
Anywhere else?
Wasn't she doing a Tammy Wynette impersonation? I'm playing devil's advocate.
No, she wasn't there. There are more
All right.
clips of that too. But here's another one for you. Here she is.
Wynette's a natural treasure. She's a.
Here she is pretending to be, as your grandmother would say, colored.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far
Fire!
from where I started from.
Oh, boy.
Nobody told me that the road would be easy.
And not to be
Wait a
outdone by
minute.
Daniel Day-Lewis through method acting. Here she is acting as an insufferable bitch.
What difference at this point does it make?
Oh. good.
Which one's genuine? You be the judge.
None.
She ended a sentence in a preposition, I think.
Yeah.
Well, that's outrageous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Tim, did you notice that?
Her husband is the master.
It's unforgivable.
Propositioning.
Sorry, Tim. I'm coming down hard on you today. I don't know why. Okay. It's all about literature.
Let's go to AOC, who, I've said this repeatedly, I can't wait for Father Time to pull the ripcord so I can despise her
I do find her attractive.
exterior just as much as her insides. Right now I only hate her insides, which is, it's wrong to hate, but I do.
But I want to date her and I want to argue politics and then have crazy makeup sex. Is that weird?
Yes.
I hope your wife's not
Can
watching.
we delete that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my wife. No, my wife understands.
Yeah, she understands.
Brian, it's a live show.
Yes.
Oh,
we
sorry.
can't
We
delete
can't
that.
delete anything that's live.
She's going to beat me.
Here's AOC And it's funny, she does what you do as a kind of a joke, but she was born, by the way, in New York. Okay. She spent most of her childhood in the wealthy Yorktown area, right, of New York. And she is a code-switching connoisseur. Here she is trying to connect with black voters, again, with a fake accent.
I'm proud to be a bartender. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with working retail, folding clothes for other people to buy.
Oh, my goodness.
There is nothing wrong with preparing the food that your neighbors will eat.
I had a nightmare today.
And it looked like AOC.
Yeah, it looked like a horse-faced Puerto Rican.
I was wrong, I tell you.
And it was googly.
Dream.
I repeat,
Jesus
googly.
Christ.
I want to be judged by the content of this bitch. Now,
My mind.
here she is trying to be authentic, and I say trying because it's cute, by saying Puerto Rico in the way that she thinks, she should say it.
Today represents a historic moment. While Puerto Rico is not the United States' only colony,
Puerto
it
Rico.
is,
Puerto
it
Rico.
is its
Alexandra.
oldest.
No.
Alexandra.
She only pronounced Rico like that. She said Puerto Rico.
Let's play it again.
Not Puerto.
Are you right? You're probably
I'm
right.
right.
Let's play it again.
Listen.
Today represents a historic moment. While Puerto Rico is not
Oh my
the
gosh,
United
that's a good.
States'
That'd be
only
like a West Side
colony.
Story.
Well done, Gerald. Well
That'd be
done,
like them saying, "Wonderful time in America, terrible time in America." You forget I'm in America. Just stab him already, sharks. Sorry, Jets.
Exactly. Somebody pull out a gun.
Next,
You're a Jet.
let's watch the Jets try and pretend to be straight.
She's awful.
I put my switchblade on you, see?
How many people got their asses kicked when they were being mugged because they thought, I'm not going to give you my wallet. I've seen how this gang violence plays out. Well, what do you mean? You're just going to do a muscle up on that pipe.
Don't we break out in song?
A pirouette and a leap.
Yes.
Can I get
You're
some
in
Officer
trouble.
Krupke in here?
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Jet, you're the swinginest thing. Little boy, you're a man. Little man, you're a king.
Yes.
How about that?
And then Riff and Tony were getting it on at the convenience store.
Exactly. Only
Bodega.
gay if you're smiling.
Yes.
Gerald,
Looking in the
what
eyes.
were you saying about Spanish accents?
Here's the thing, though. So, Brian, she does like you did, like the karate thing. Okay, but she's serious, and here she is pronouncing Puerto Rico like the white person, or I should say, the homegrown American that she is.
Well, I think what happened in my family is what happened to thousands of Puerto Ricans.
Which one?
Which one? Make up your mind.
Pick
Puerto
a lane, Seabiscuit.
Puerto Rico. Alexandria.
You know how they get her to her interviews?
What's that?
They have a little rabbit run up the camera.
Peanut butter.
It's one of those days. Kamala Harris is another example. So we've got Hillary Clinton, we've got AOC. Code switching. Yeah. Just keep in mind, again, they'll attack you if you do a voice, right? You'll have more people upset that I did an impression of Martin Luther King Jr. poorly.
Yes.
Here's Harris,
that bad, though.
who she's from, Jamaican heritage or Indian heritage.
Both.
Grew up more Indian, I believe.
Yeah, it depends on who she's pandering to.
Yeah, it's true. That's
So let's just give her both.
She went to Westmount High School in Montreal.
Kamala Harris?
Yes.
Kamala Harris
Check
did?
it. Anyone.
Are you sure about that?
Positive.
She went to Westmount?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a
High school in Montreal for sure.
that's
I
a
think
Jewish
Westmount.
hotbed.
That's right. No, it is a big. It's the Highland Park of Montreal.
Yeah, it's very, very wealthy.
Is that right?
Yeah, Westmount Montreal. I didn't know she went to Westmount Montreal. Let's fact check it, otherwise I get to admonish my dad, which is fun.
Yes.
So here is Kamala Harris, the Jamaican part of Kamala Harris, trying to relate to Southern blacks.
We will tell them we were hanging out in a parking lot this particular Saturday afternoon with Kamala and all our friends.
Oh, I loved her in the clumps. It's just and here she is. Again, remember, we provide all the references. I always say, look, it's important to have contrast. That's why you have clinical trials, right? You have a control group. So the contrast matters so that you can only verify that it's fake if you can verify what is real. And I understand what you're saying. It's tough to verify what's real with any of these people. But here she is switching between accents or affectations 3 times in under 20 seconds. Wow.
Because as we all know, elections matter.
There you go.
And when folks vote, they order what they want. And in this case, they got what they asked for. I went off script a little bit.
And then she said, and Daddy gets the piece of fried chicken. Chris Rock. She went into the difference between black men and N-words, and you're like, is that Chris Rock? No!
So we do have an update on Kamala Harris in Montreal. Harris and her sister moved to there with their mother there to Montreal, Quebec.
Is your throat still shut, or is that just your...
There's more to that.
It wasn't just... They were
where Kamala had accepted a
Excuse
research
me, it's
position
pronounced-
with McGill University-affiliated Jewish General Hospital.
Westmount, and finally, it's Westmount. It's right in there.
Yeah, it
Pull
says...
up.
Did he not say Westmount?
Pull it up.
And finally, Westmount High School. and
Westmount High School.
That's the relevant
Thank you.
part.
Whole point.
Admonish Hootie.
No.
It's pronounced Montréal.
It's like, did she go to Westmount? Well, her hobbies are walking on the beach. And you have... It says Westmount, Michael!
They didn't highlight it for him, though, so I'm admonishing the researcher.
Yes. You're right there, Pops Crowder.
I like the Jamaican part. It works better.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
My roommates in college were Jamaican. Does that count? I was in Jamaica, and a guy walked up, I swear to God, and said, "You move like a Jamaican." And then I said, "Thank you." And I said, "I must move like a Jamaican." And then he gave me a joint. I paid him $20, and I smoked that joint. And then I called the emergency room.
Totally
I was that high. I'm not a seasoned.
Well, you might want to see
I'm not a smoker, and I was like, I can't feel my feet.
Yeah.
And I can't feel myself breathing. And then my girlfriend.
Well, I take back the wisdom comment, because you're not a smoker, but you bought a joint for $20 from a strange Jamaican in the bathroom.
I wanted him to like me.
Just because he compliments.
Plus, his hands were so strong and dark.
Yeah.
And, sorry.
That's from years of filleting bonefish.
Yeah, that's what.
When I went to Guantanamo Bay, that was a big thing. Jamaicans there, they loved it. It was a bonefish thing. One of them stabbed a guy who
Cubans.
What? Say bone again.
No,
Say
they were
it.
Jamaicans in Cuba.
In Cuba. Oh, wow.
Jamaicans in Cuba and Guantanamo Bay, a lot of them would work there. And he stabbed the guy who took us out fishing one
With
time.
a bone?
No, he stabbed him he could have.
Okay. If you sharpen a bone. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm
keep
sure
going.
that you can. Tim can do that. Now, here is Kamala Harris. Here is Kamala Harris even code switching. So we have 3 times in 20 seconds. And now we have her code switching when she's in France.
With us in government, we campaign with the plan. Uppercase T, uppercase P, the plan.
I don't know if that's code switching so much as just bombing.
I was just about to say, every time she does it, it makes her sound worse, which is a feat.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how you sound worse than you already sound, Kamala, but you did it.
She was wearing a mask, and sometimes you have to read someone's face for comedy.
But the never goes before a consonant, nor does and
The plan.
go before anything but a vowel. These people don't speak English either.
I think it's just the benzos.
Yeah. Well, that adrenochrome won't suck itself. I'm joking. Right now, they're like, he knew it! I was thinking it! And he... Okay.
Stop it.
Smash the Rumble button, by the way, if you're watching right now. Head on over to Rumble. What are you doing here? Watch on Rumble. I'm really excited to get to the Bud Light segment because that's fun. That's a win. And today, we're all in a good mood because you can see the fruits of your labor. But before we get to that, one more downer. I apologize. Between the White House Easter egg hunt and his trip to Dublin, Ireland, or as Joe Biden pronounces it, Dublin, Ireland!
I'm so glad to be home.
I want to know Dublin, Ireland! Fine. And then Kamala Harris, like a child that sees another kid gets a laugh, goes, yeah, I too went to Dublin, Ireland. I've always gone there as a child. What? I lie.
With you too.
I like to lie. It makes me feel big. Any mayors I can sleep with?
Willie.
Which brings us to This Week in Biden.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Are you saying that you would be taking part in our upcoming election in 2024?
Well, I'll either be rolling an egg or being the guy who's pushed them out.
Come on, help a brother out. Make some news for me here.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, I'm just coming down and looking. I guess I need one of those. Well, you order whatever you order. I got the load. Oh, Air Force. Look at this. Air Force One. If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Was that a space shuttle that he was holding up when he said Air Force One?
I don't know, but I have a bunch of notes that don't make sense.
I'll be right back.
He doesn't know where he is.
He has no idea. That first one, I was listening to, I do news briefings where I listen to them, and I was even trying to decipher, what's he trying to say?
It's worrisome because if he wins the next election, he'll be 86 in office. 86.
They won't let him.
Well, you know what I think? I think we should 86 that man's vice president.
Wait a minute.
Come on now. Come on now. Admonish me.
Big words. Hold on. Tim, admonish means...
You and Steven? All right.
Yeah,
Admonition.
You can admonish us, too, for this View-esque crosstalk today. It's my fault.
It's been fun.
It's been fun. It's a fun show. Hey, hopefully you guys are okay. This is a more relaxed show today because it's a good day. As Ice Cube or Ice Tea? I get them confused. I'm no Kamala. So today was a good day. That's Ice Cube.
Ice Cube. For sure it is, but I'm going with Tea.
Ice T's the one who does the ads against domestic abuse.
And Car Shield.
Yeah.
Car Shield.
Yeah, which is perfect for him because he was a pimp. That's right. So he is the only one who should be able to beat his bitches from his pimp car.
That's right. And not fear an engine going out.
Car Shield. Is your car covered? You mean from theft from people like you? Shut up. So, Bud Light. Okay, you guys know about this from earlier this week, but here's kind of the lowdown. And we always want to offer some solutions here at this show because I understand that a lot of you feel helpless. That's so much of the chat that we get. The questions are, hey, what can I do? There's a lot that you can do, and we are kind of at a good point, I would say, at this moment in history because there are more local options than ever for almost all of these giant multi-conglomerate alternatives. Now, that's not going to change the international markets and the ESG score, but as far as your day-to-day life, it can affect you zero, and you can affect the bottom line of these companies. I will say this. I think that this Budweiser, this Bud Light, is going to go down like New Coke and Schlitz. For people who don't know, let's bring that up. The researchers, Schlitz, they were the #1 beer in the country at one point. A lot of you may not know this. I believe it was the 60s, and they changed their formulation to use hop pellets, and they lost ground to Budweiser, and they never gained it back. I wish Schlitz was available today, actually. If I'm going to drink one of those, I like Schlitz. It's not great, but it's passable. Bud Light tastes like Satan's piss. So, I mean, I assume. But it shows that boycotts to some degree work, but it's not just about a boycott. There needs to be a cultural movement, okay? So there needs to be a cultural backlash, and this is just a big swing and a miss from Bud Light. Them being so out of touch creates an opening for all of you. This is one thing that we do sometimes when we'll do, whether it's change my mind or we'll plan for a segment, we plan an argument, we plan a premise, and we go, okay, here's a counter argument, here's a counter argument, and then we sort of like a tree and then branches. And then you realize that there are certain people, they're not even past the stump. And that's the executives at Bud Light. That's the executives at Abercrombie and Fitch, right? They're so out of touch, they can't know that they're out of touch. So this is the theme of this week. Let's give you the then recap. So then, last week, Dylan Mulvaney went viral, in case you've forgotten, receiving a Bud Light commemorative can, but then they confirmed that Dylan Mulvaney, that he was an ambassador. Here's the clip.
This month I celebrated my day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it.
Oh, I thought they sent you a gift of psychiatry.
Should have been a urinal cake.
It was on April Fool's too.
People didn't know if it was real.
Yeah.
Alex Jones thinks that Dylan Mulvaney is a troll. So then
that makes sense to me.
That Andy Kaufman thing?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think Dylan Mulvaney has a great sense of humor, and my guess is this is a person just cashing in, going, let me see how far I can push this.
I don't know.
But here's the thing. If this was, think about if you did this with race. When you're
again
playing at right,
we don't have to think about it. We have examples.
Well, I mean, and I'm outraged, but I'm on the show to push back. But if you were to do this, he's playing womanhood. It's kind of blackface.
Yes,
it's kind of blackface for women.
It's much more absurd. When people came down on Rachel Dolezal, I was saying, look, this is actually far more reasonable than claiming you can change your gender.
Correct.
There are far fewer differences biologically between a black woman and a white woman than a woman, black or white, and a man.
Correct.
And here's the strategy. When you talk, it's relevant because the marketing executive, I guess VP of marketing, whatever made-up title they can create so that a woman who's heading up a beer company, she has no business heading up, can feel important. Her name is Alyssa Heiner. Well, anyway, here is.
I tried.
Stop with the code switching. We moved on.
Sounds like a brood-making family.
Yeah. This was the explanation for the Dylan Mulvaney decision, and it's relevant because that'll take us to now.
You've got to see people who reflect you in the work. And we had this hangover. I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of
Shut up.
bratty, kind of out of touch humor, and it was really important
Out of
that we
touch humor.
had
She knows humor.
another
How about a
approach.
beverage?
So I had this super clear mandate. It's like we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in, okay, what does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. It means having a campaign that's truly inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men.
Yeah. Should include fixing split ends.
Out of touch.
You crack some lobsters with
I
those
find
things.
I find her strangely attractive. I do want to feed her a sugar cube.
You're disgusted. Yes. A nice salt lick.
What did I say?
A
Oh,
nice
come
salt
on.
lick.
Hold it in your
Steven.
palm because they bite your finger.
That's for
exactly.
deer.
So I want to represent. Is it? I thought horses got salt lick.
Nah.
Whatever. Eat your oats.
They do.
She just looks like she has a sweet tooth. That's all
She
I'm
looks like if Amanda Peet had welcomed an evil spirit into her.
I'm not going to disparage.
Yeah, yes, you will. We all will.
Peer pressure.
So
Fine.
there you go. That was the explanation. And then someone said, yeah, what about beer? She said, beer? So this is what she does. She decides to represent women by putting a man on the can. And I know, don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I mean, when I say man, I mean man.
With all the tackle.
I believe in.
So that brings us to now. And please, everyone, hit the like button right now in celebration, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Rumble. Anheuser-Busch lost $6 billion in market cap.
Wow.
Now, I know you're saying that's not a lot considering it's, what, 130-something
That's
billion?
6,000 million.
Thank
Do you understand that?
Okay.
Right.
I was not, actually, I didn't do the math, but
That is 6,000 million. Let me give you an example.
that makes it sound less impressive.
No.
My wife is dying
So,
right now,
so
by
a
the way. You have no
million
idea.
a million seconds, 11 days. A billion seconds, roughly 33 years. $6 billion.
Yeah.
So
That's insane.
Can I have a gun?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of
For yourself.
For me?
Yes, for yourself. Just to be clear. And he means figuratively.
Yeah. I just code switched to a
Because,
mathematician.
yeah.
To an Asian. That's what it was.
To an Asian. Oh, this is where I draw the line, guys.
No, it's not.
All right, fine.
Look behind you. There's the line.
There it is.
So, way behind you. You walked right into that.
I walked right into it. Got to be on your feet, on your toes.
The distributors, by the way, so not just the market cap, but here's part of the trend. Again, the trend line matters. You have the distributors in the South and the Midwest right now of Bud Light. They reported dramatically dwindling sales over Easter weekend. There was even a bar in Hell's Kitchen, which is very gay. They saw sales in New York drop 58%.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
By the way, I love
Hell's Kitchen is a gay area, just to be clear. It used to be, the Village, then it moved to Chelsea. Then Hell's Kitchen is very largely, practicing homosexual, and they don't want you to be.
It's surprising that most people don't celebrate the risen Christ with a bud.
Yes. Well, that's what they put on the sponge, just to mock him.
They
Screw your sins. I'm going home.
I'm out. That is
it. Got the crown of thorns. You're feeding me Bud Light on a sponge. What is it? Let's get at this. All right.
Forgive them. They know not the Bud Light. Don't forgive them. I can't forgive that.
Yeah. He's just a thief in the cross. Like, will I be there with you in heaven? Like, what are you saying? I can't think straight. Who makes this?
It's terrible.
So, by the way, not to be outdone, running interference. This is after the $6 billion loss. CNN still ran a story defending the campaign, saying Bud Light's inclusive ad campaigns are good for business, experts say.
Wow.
Wow. Who are the experts?
Yeah, if you don't go by things like sales or market cap.
Yeah, I guess so.
All the investors who just lost a bunch of money are like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, this is great
Love it.
for us. And here's, this is a smart move when you think about it. It's ignore at least 50% of the country to go after less than half of a percentage point. Because here's something that you need to understand about this. I think it's what they say 1.6% of the population is transgender, but a huge portion of that, by the way, is
1.6%?
That's what they say.
That's
but
not true.
No, it's all
That's
people
not
who identify as genderqueer, and a huge portion, that 1 in 5 in Gen Z identify that way.
You're
So,
out of your mind. It's social contagion.
oh, of course it is. But my point is, even if you take that number, now subtract the vast majority of whom are Gen Z, who aren't 21, how many transgender 21-year-olds would even be interested in drinking Bud Light? It's about 6.
Yeah.
But you've turned off everyone who goes to NASCAR and bull riding and country music. So this will go down as one of the greatest blunders, I think.
Oh my God,
yeah.
it's unbelievable.
You wonder if a Malcolm Gladwell would write a book about this tipping point.
for sure.
You know, that social contagion idea that this is.
It would be just the tipping point.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
But people who cut their own hair don't drink Budweiser.
Well, it would be cutting off the tipping point.
Yes, it would be cutting off. So,
but could he even make the case? Would he dare even make the case that this is a trend like Puma?
They teach the Schlitz debacle. They would teach that in business classes in college.
No,
It was
this is a
huge
major
deal.
misstep. Like people don't understand something like this can really lead to the downfall because it gives somebody like Yingling an opportunity to kind of step into this space,
right,
and say, okay, well, we'll take that market share, and then it helps propel them.
Also, by the way, Yingling, return a call. We reached out to them for a sponsorship because, like, you guys wouldn't be able to keep it on the shelves.
The thing is, I worry that people forget. So
Yes.
with Netflix, with Disney, it actually didn't.
No, it did with Disney.
It did for a second.
Well,
and
no,
then
it still
it
is.
back-
Down,
Is
they
that
lost-
right?
they laid
I
off
thought
like
they were
8,000
back up to.
workers. No, they're
yeah,
not.
but that had to do with other factors. I think.
No, you're wrong.
No,
I think it's all
you're wrong.
You're incorrect.
You're
Brian.
incorrect.
Brian, why are you trying to rain on their parade? No, it's down.
Where's the line?
It's down. It's down. It's
Is it
down,
down?
for Disney.
All
And
right.
but I do agree with your point because I once had someone in, and this is something you got to get out of the identity politics. People on the right. I was in Michigan. Michigan is one of the best beer states in the country, and I had a guy who, well, you know, this tavern where we would often go.
Yes.
And he was kind of like a Trump voting sort of Republican. And I would have a local beer, and he would say, "I just drink Bud Light." And I said, "Why?" They said, "Because that is made by Americans." And I said, "In the brewery that's literally 4 miles down the road isn't, because a lot of you have to say, I drive a Ford truck that's actually less made in America than a lot of Toyota cars, just to be clear. So what you have to stop doing is thinking, okay, identity politics on the right. Like, you know, I put mustard on my fries. I'm country. Well, he's country. Harley Davidson? No, it's not an American institution. It's crap, right? It's a rattle box between your legs that you're spending 8 times the amount for. Bud Light, sure, they've marketed themselves as an all-American company. It's a lie. It's a lie, just like you see from the left when they try and fake like they're black or Indian or Jamaican or Puerto Rican, whatever it is. But here's the hypocrisy, too. Again, the rule of contrast. That's the theme of today's show. Then and now, a timeline. That's valuable. By the way, call us to the madness. Check out the timeline here. Check out how long we've been doing this show. Check out me with the blue bedsheet. My growth has been stunted for a very long time. So this executive was busted at frat parties, at frat-style parties. Here are leaked college photos right now, by the way. And she's even there downing some beers. Unfortunately, it's Rolling Rock.
Oh, God. Look,
What in the
it's
world?
college. It's college.
It's college. And here she is blowing up condoms.
Well, that's...
Nothing like wishful thinking, love.
I think they were drinking shots out of condoms.
Yes.
You would know.
Yeah.
You would
I-
know.
is that
No,
what
I don't. I read the story. Because I can read, Yakuza.
Guys, I'm gay.
Yeah, let's go with that. So my question to you is, how many? So after
As your
all
lips were moving, he hit that button, and it was perfect.
how many drinks would you need to find Alyssa Heinerscheid suitable? And it is free Mug Club month for another week. LottoCredit.com/Mug Club. Do again consider joining up because there's no way that we can support ourselves through YouTube, of course. And here's something though: the solutions here. Look, first there are a few different layers to this. Okay. It doesn't mean that you're going to put Budweiser out of business. And by the way, for the record, go check out Anheuser-Busch and their entire catalog.
Yeah.
It's not just Bud Light. And that's something like Brian's point. Some people are like, I don't drink Bud Light, and then they go and they drink Corona, whatever it is. They go and drink, I don't know if it's Beck's or all these brands that they have under their house. You need to be aware of what it is that you are supporting. Look, you need to, okay, not purchase products. Actively oppose companies who hate everything you stand for, but you need to contrast that by actively supporting companies who actually share your values. And here's the beauty of it. It's never been more easy than today. For example, you'll never see television ratings that use Johnny Carson. We've talked about that, right? The fracturing of viewership, which is why we're so grateful for you tuning in, because people have more choices. You have more choices. It's never been easier to both boycott and boycott. If you don't want to drink Bud Light and you want to drink a watered down macro urine lager, all you need to do is tilt your head slightly, or I guess I should say pan it slightly to the right and grab another case of crap. Or if you want to try something better, just go a little bit more to the right and you will have 50 choices from local, you have distillers, you have local brewers, and also understand Local doesn't necessarily mean you're safe. There are plenty of local woke craft brewers.
Yeah.
Just takes a little bit of research. We do this all the time. Even before I buy a product, I'll just look online at About Us. I go, rainbow flag. Let me go find their alternative. Just do some research. You can, and this starts with your community. It starts with supporting local businesses who aren't beholden to international influence, who aren't concerned about the ESG scores, these issues, these indexes. We should probably do a refresher course on that maybe next week. It's not about you, the customer. It's about appealing to international investors. It's about mitigating this risk. Here's the thing. At a certain point, though, when they become so unprofitable or irrelevant, guess what? The market might have to correct itself to a degree. We're not going to get back where we were before, but the good news is we don't have to. You can have your own community. There are so many choices out there. I see people going, what are we switching to? Coors Light? It's not like it's just Bud Light or Coors Light or Miller Light.
Budweiser.
There's so many options.
And it's not like you have to sacrifice a ton of quality either. In this case, it'd actually be better.
You can
upgrade
quality.
Exactly. I was about to say, local breweries are everywhere.
Yes.
And I think that these corporations, there's this idea that they're these powerful monoliths, and they are, but they're not principled.
Right.
And they do respond to the bottom line, and you can have a huge effect.
Yeah. You can, yeah.
And it can last, but you've got to, like to your point, you've got to educate yourself. We are no longer at a point, in my opinion, where you can afford to be politically ignorant and politically non-committed. Because if you are, you're part of the problem. And that's just a fact.
No, I agree with you. It used to be like, you know what, I don't go into politics at all, and I don't, there's a cock on my can.
Right. Yeah, and how'd that work out in the 20th century, by the way, when you were like, I'm not into politics.
It's every inch. It's every single inch that you have to fight for. And that's why we're happy to have people like you here. We're happy to have people like Nick DiPaolo here. We're happy to be bringing on other people who are actually risking something. Not people who are just making money off of you as conservatives, but people who have been in this industry for a long time. Yeah, you will get blacklisted. Yes, your career will suffer as a result, and we want to be able to have your back. But you cannot afford to just ignore politics. Doesn't mean that you have to follow it every second of the day. That's why we try and offer you this show. What you do is you have an hour and a half to 2 hours where you can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, and then we make the references available. So you can decide, you can go as deep as you want in studying these issues, and I encourage you to, and I encourage you, LeVar Burton, don't take my word for it. Take the word of this 6-year-old with a pop-up book. But here's the thing. Bud Light's marketing team is clearly struggling, and it does seem like some other competitors have picked up the ball. And they're doing a little bit of in-house production and advertising. It's an opportunity.
Stephen, what would...
If your beer tastes like water and has gone completely flaccid, it's Mug Club time. When your idea of beer after a hard day's work doesn't involve you stealing women's luggage at the airport, it's Mug Club time. When their marketing has hopped from funny frogs to disturbed drag queens, Mug Club time. When they tell you with a straight face that Clydesdales are out and stubbled chicks with dicks are in, Mug Club time.
If you're over the bug, we've got the mug.
Where's my commemorative? I think they hit the dump button. Sorry if you're on YouTube. I don't know when we're back, but obviously here on Rumble you can watch. Were you about to say there, Brian?
I'm so sorry I stepped on that.
No, it's okay.
Fantastic ad. What
Spared no expense.
What would Bud Light have to do to get back into your good graces?
Seppuku.
Make good beer? I don't know.
Seppuku.
I didn't have to think about it.
All right. Well, that's
about it.
Pronounced seppuku.
They can't. That's the problem.
I mean, if you were, but if you were a samurai,
some of their spokespeople. What?
Yeah. But there should be a path to.
Stephen, the odds are in your favor on that one. Don't worry.
Help me, Brian.
Wait, I couldn't. I lost my train of thought.
Oh, well, so did I.
The answer
Thank
is
God we hit the YouTube
there's
dump button.
nothing that they can do. They pandered. They went the wrong direction. If they come back, it's only because it financially hurts, but not because they actually changed their mind and saw the error of their ways. So no, you're done.
That's it.
I was never a Bud Light guy.
That's it? You put a chick with a dick on your can, you lose, you get nothing! You lose! You lose! Nothing! No! No chicks with dicks on cans, no! Dylan Mulvaney?
That's where your line is?
Good.
That's where your line is.
Let's go to Black Maternal Health.
Oh, boy.
What could go wrong there?
So yesterday, the columnist, by the way, Carrie Sheffield, really took it to Joy Reid on Joy Reid's show. She still has one.
Surprisingly.
And gave her history lesson. And by the way, we've actually done a video on this on Margaret Sanger and written articles at LiveOakCrowder.com, so we'll probably have the link somewhere where you can click it more in depth. I highly recommend that you learn about the roots of Planned Parenthood, but Carrie Sheffield actually educated Joy Reid, who you would think would know the roots of an intensely racist organization, considering how obsessed she is with, fictional racism. So they discussed the roots of abortion.
I believe in human rights. To me, abortion is as evil as slavery. It truly is. And when you look at the founding of Planned Parenthood and who Margaret Sanger was, you look at her research. She was a woman who believed in eugenics. She was a woman who believed in the purification of the race, and she didn't want certain women to reproduce. And I find that legacy to be deeply problematic,
Right,
and
but
from just a scientific standpoint.
Right, but the vast majority of women are not eugenicists. Most people probably don't even know who Margaret Sanger is. Most women just want control of their own body.
First off, why is she wearing a sea urchin on her head? No, wait, actually, who wore it better? Joy Reid or me as Tom York, actually? But don't you love the little argument she makes? Most women are not eugenicists. Sure, but you believe that people who, by the way, are descendants from free non-slave states who never had slaveholders in their past, owe reparations. We're only talking about a couple of generations removed where this was a proactive eugenics approach. Yeah, but most women aren't that. Well, I'm not a slave owner, bitch.
No, and I don't understand it, but the Democrats went from safe, legal, and rare. That was the rare part up front. You guys never thought this, even you never thought that this should be as widespread as it is right now, especially when it was, she said, certain women not reproducing. It was imbeciles, but mostly black people.
Yeah.
That's why they put the clinics in black communities,
yes,
so that they could make sure that there were less black babies, so that they would have less black people in the country, because she was a racist.
Yep.
There goes all those votes.
Easy. Well, it doesn't matter because they're building the world in their image. Think about it. You control population, you destroy the family, and then you you sow division. I mean, this is the playbook. This is the fascist playbook. By the way, fascism, a distinctly extreme left ideology, if you guys actually want to understand, because it's consolidated power to the government. But Monday.
Sorry to interrupt, but it's also important of a history lesson with the Communist Revolution, the Bolshevik Revolution. The idea was that the state would raise your child.
Yep.
That, it was very bourgeois to have parents, a mother raise her child. You can see your kids, but let the state, because we have experts who know how to raise your child. So there was an attack on the nuclear family.
Yep.
And that was central to Marxist thinking.
And it's also sort of exemplified by it takes a village. It's like, well, no, hold on a second. No. A village helps.
Yes.
A village helps. It's good to have a community. The communities that you've proactively sought to destroy, but it takes a family, and you don't want that to be a component. And it's incredibly important. That's why, by the way, that's why we have marriage laws. That's why we have tax incentives on the books, because our founding fathers said before there was any kind of federal governance, before state governance, before even municipal governance, there needs to be self-governance, and that can only take place with strong families. But not to understand this, on Monday, former Vice President Joe Biden said April 11th through April 17th is Black Maternal Health Week. Whatever. So
Black Maternal Health. That week is the week I celebrate white paternal wealth.
Yeah.
Anyone?
I was going to say, I celebrate white barren wombs, so I'm busy.
It's like a Wednesday to a Wednesday, Joe. Why? Was this like a Tuesday night idea?
Yeah, well, thank God he's on it.
Well,
black women must feel so safe and represented.
We got a week!
By the way, it's only 6 days. It's not even 7.
Yeah.
Well, what happened to Sunday?
You gave them the leap year of weeks, Biden.
I mean...
You're no math Asian. That is 7 days.
All right, whatever. You and your Spanish accents and your math.
Hey, you started this crap with your grammar. So Biden called upon Americans to amplify the voices and experiences of black women, families, and communities, and committing to building a world in which black women do not have to fear for their safety. Hey, how about the black babies who are more likely to be aborted in New York? Right, the most dangerous place for them to be is in their mother's womb. So there are, by the way, about 20 million black people who won't be celebrating it, just to be clear, or anything
That's
ever,
just a sad
because
fact
20 million black lives have been ended
aborted
through abortion,
New York
including women and girls. From 2019 to 2020, abortion
It's
rates among black women
disgusting.
rose from 386 to 426 per 1,000 live births. And experts say it would have been even higher if R. Kelly wasn't convicted.
Absolutely disgusting.
I need to see data on that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't have
this
it.
This is where I draw the line.
Well, I'll get a 6-year-old with a pop-up, but you don't have to take my word for it.
Okay, sorry.
Reading rainbow. They're the but Planned Parenthood is the worst thing to happen to black babies since Madonna. Let's just be clear about that. And we all want to sit here and act like, oh yeah, black women. They don't care about you. Understand it? They don't. They only use you when convenient. And people say this is race. No, they fake your voice. And I mean, they fake black voice. They think you'll actually buy it. By maternal health, they mean killing your babies. It's genocide. It was set up as a genocidal organization, to be clear, and it was done through subversive methods. And by the way, this also brings us into something that a lot of you may have a tough time navigating. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but you've probably heard about the abortion pill, right, being outlawed, and then is it outlawed or is it not? So last night there was a federal appeals court. They ruled that this abortion pill, mifepristone, could remain available. I believe it was a court that sort of blocked the block from Texas, to be clear. It just can't be sent in the mail. The decision overruled Northern District of Texas judge who last week said that the Food and Drug Administration's approval of mifepristone in 2000 was not valid in essence. He was saying that the drug should be pulled from the market. So it was about a safety issue, which we know the left doesn't care about as it relates to drugs. See the mRNA injection. But just to be clear, the abortion pill that we're talking about here is not the same as Plan B. I just want to be clear because that's what the left tries to say, where it's like the morning after pill, and then they try and extrapolate from that. They go, they want to ban all contraception. They want to make it so you can't get a 25-cent rubber at a truck stop. No, there actually are safety issues. And again, the law of contrast, the way that it went through the process with the FDA. Well, here's a perfect example. In your lifetime, okay, had you witnessed, and I would like for you to comment below, an FDA process that resembled the mRNA injection, right? Or was that abnormal? Okay, this is another example of an anomaly if you do your research on it. And we'll probably do more of a deep dive next week. But just don't be confused and let them conflate the two. They're not the same thing, whether you agree with either or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't remember what state it was. Maybe the researchers can get it for us. It was one of the West Coast states bought a bunch of it, right, to make sure that it was going to be available for their citizens and people could come and get it from them. I'm like, oh, that's what you should be spending your money on. By the way, no matter what state it was, Washington, Oregon, or California, they have better things to do with the money. Trust me, we've seen what those states look like and what those policies lead to. So, but they're making sure that kind of stat that we showed from New York, like that's heartbreaking, right?
Oh, they're talking about it on CNN right now. Let's see if they conflate the two. Right now on CNN, nothing up our sleeves.
That's 23 years. And we should also note that that's as a result of the FDA approval. The Federal Drug Administration, that is the entity that really examines whether or not something should be brought to market. In making that assessment, they found, the FDA did, that it was perfectly fine and proper.
Wrong.
Now we have a district court judge, the lower court judge.
But here's the
said
thing.
Not so.
Explain, as we just did, explain why some people may not agree with you, and then address the argument. Instead, they just go, the FDA said it's fine. Sure, we've already heard that. There are some people saying the process wasn't as valid as other FDA processes. They don't even address it. They're going with talking point number one.
Of course they are. And by the way, you want to just kind of appeal to the authority of the FDA, right? That argument. We'll pull some examples of some of the things that the FDA has approved that maybe they would want that one back.
Right. And by the way, I also understand that the problem is some drugs that would help you are not approved by the FDA. They're sitting on the shelf because they might cause tummy discomfort. I think that you should be able to use experimental medication if you understand the risks and you make that decision for yourself. I don't think that there should be some bureaucratic organization that, beyond the basic realms of safety, should prevent you from access to some healthcare out there. This is not that when we're talking about, especially something that in some instances is taxpayer funded. So you can't have it both ways. When you have the left for years, remember it was all the patchouli wearing granola hippies saying, "Oh man, big pharma." I wish that I loved anything as much as the Democrat Party loves big pharma these days. Anything.
Seems they've changed their ways.
Just so I could feel alive.
That's cutting.
Yes, that's true. The hot topic pains. Let's see what else he's saying here, and we're going to be continuing on Rumble, not on YouTube, as we do some stuff up. But I want to see what they're saying.
And you got to get that uniformity, right? Everyone wants. You need consistency in life. You need to know what the rules are, what the benchmarks are, what's happening next. And so I think when you have this level
consistency,
of
like male, female,
Fifth Circuit Court, you need the Supreme Court to interpret that. It doesn't mean their interpretation is going to get any better. It's very conservative, right? 6 justices, conservative 3 not.
Did you hear what he just said? He just said, doesn't mean it's going to get any better. It's still very conservative. That right there just showed you he fancies himself an objective journalist.
Right.
Now, the Supreme Court, here's what he just said. The Supreme Court is bad because it represents half the country that I disagree with. the most trusted name in news.
Yes. Better is a qualitative term. You know?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Oh, they're conservative. That's why. Well, I'm sorry.
Right.
Why would that matter? Because the other ones are liberal. By your definition, you're splitting it. So there is a liberal. So it's just who you agree with.
Exactly.
Not the actual law or the actual process. By the way, it's California have secured because California doesn't have other problems.
Yeah, they don't have a $20 billion deficit.
They don't.
They need to buy a bunch of pussy pills.
250,000 pills, and they're negotiating for up to 2 million more because people need to be able to kill their babies.
Babies must
in
die.
California.
There's a difference between the abortion pill and Plan B?
Yeah, there's a morning after pill, and again, you do have some people who disagree. They say actually it can disrupt the uterine wall, kind of like some people talk about IUDs. It can actually irritate the uterine wall post fertilization.
Yeah.
But still, the Plan B is not the same as actually like the abortion pill, which basically dissolves what is already existing. And I just say it because it's not no one, and I understand that there are arguments to be made on that topic. That's not what I'm doing right now. What I'm telling you is that is not even on the table. What we are talking about is the abortion pill, which can be taken a significantly later amount of time that no one disagrees.
Right.
On the right or left is in fact an abortion. So they don't care anyway, right? They don't care anyway. Let me just leave you with this, okay? And please do, we're going to go to Mug Club here, and we have Casey's Gag Reflex and Chat Thursday. And there's a lot of chat regarding perhaps sitting down with the, some people say former president, some people say sitting President Donald Trump. I say sitting president, okay? We'll be talking about that in Chat Thursday. But while we're discussing abortion here, I don't know. I don't even know if I want to go into this. I don't even know if we have time. We've already gone over time. What do you think?
I think I'm going to end the stream.
Piss off.
Guys.
Tell them to piss off.
Yeah, you know what?
Well, not stream, the video.
I'm so glad we have the YouTube dump button, but it's free Mug Club month. I'm going to continue this here right now on Rumble. If you're on YouTube, what the hell are you doing here? Just help the algorithm if you want. I don't care. Whatever. Head on over to Rumble. We're going to continue for another 45 minutes here with stuff that we could never say on YouTube.
Rumble or a like, anything, follow, that would just be amazing. I truly appreciate your guys' time for anyone who watched this video, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Thank you very much.